Hello, I'm Kym Zest, and this here is Pigeon, and Will is behind the computer running the show. Welcome to Pajama Yin Yoga. To the 5 of you who have tuned in on time, I'll let you in on knowing that while we were setting up, I stepped on Pigeon's tail. Feels so bad. So hopefully we've all calmed down from that incident and Pigeon won't hold a grudge and she'll be a good yin yoga kitty. But the mice are also harassing her and she's working hard at keeping them at bay. So who knows what will happen in this next hour. So for those of you who joined early and are foam rolling, feel free to continue to do so throughout the rest of the intro. You can also use this time to finish setting up. I won't be playing any music on my end, but you are welcome to on yours. And then I really suggest having lots of props available to you. I'm a big fan of having several soft, flexible props. Yoga mats work, but I'm a big fan of folded blankets or towels. Soft, thick props, I've got these pillows. And then some stiffer props, I've got some blocks and a foam roller. Books, Tupperware also work. And then anything else that you have in your environment can work. Chairs, footstools, other fitness equipment, other home stuff, you never know. So feel free to get inventive and creative in adapting this practice for yourself. One of the benefits of doing this practice on YouTube Live is that it can be free and accessible for anyone who wants to try it, anyone who needs it to be free, anyone who needs it to just be able to drop in, yet it needs active support, and we'll talk about that at the end. Tonight we'll begin with a short movement flow followed by a seated meditation. Tonight we'll be doing 3 yin postures before final relaxation. You are always welcome to do a substitute of a meditation, a movement, a posture, whatever works for you. And then there's always transition time between each yin pose for movement or stillness of your choice. I trust you to take from this whatever makes you feel better at the end. During this time, there's no right position or correct alignment of traditional poses because there's no force applied and there's no progression goal. For each yin posture, I will demonstrate several different setups to suggest lines, to feel lines of fascial tension, the connective tissue, and not muscular tension. I'll begin with a simple setup or minimal props and then add variations and different propping options. While I demonstrate, that's your time to really explore and get creative and try different things, even if you've done it before. When I'm done with my demonstration, I'll return to a seated position to watch the time. The position you land in for the 2 to 3 minutes should feel safe to let go of any muscular tension and holding so that you can experience quiet sensations. This is a practice of patience, stillness, and subtlety. Let's begin. So for this, we're going to do some arm movements, and it really doesn't matter how you're seated. So if you want to be in a chair or if you want to be standing, all of that's optional. So anything you want to do on the lower half. So we're going to begin with the arm extended, palm up, and then tilt your head away from your extended arm and back up, just to neutral. So away and back up. Remembering to breathe throughout. You can sync your breath to your movement or not, as long as you are breathing fully. Simply noticing how a small movement changes the sensation. And then leaving your head in place, we're going to flex the fingers towards the floor and return to palm up. Flexing the fingers towards the floor. And if the movement is even just an inch, that is just fine. moving at your own pace, always moving at your own pace in this practice. And then we're going to combine the two. We're going to uncoil that stress and we're going to bring head and hand towards each other. And then lengthen out, head away from the arm, palm extending up, and then fingers dropping towards the floor. Coming back, head towards fingers, and gentle stretch. Moving smoothly and slowly. Noticing where you feel tension. And taking another round or two. And then we'll release that, roll out that shoulder, other side. So extending the arm, palm up, and then just beginning with the head movement. Oh, this side is different for me, that's for sure. So just nodding the head away from the extended palm. And then leaving the head in neutral, moving just at the wrist, extending the fingers down towards the ground. And then we'll combine the two. So begin by releasing that tension, fingers and head come towards each other, and then away. Moving gently at your own pace. Taking another round or two. And when you're ready, releasing that arm. We'll take a little moment to do a little spine movement. So you can do this standing or seated, whatever position you're in. We'll start by nodding the chin towards the chest and then pushing the spine backwards, rounding the spine, rounding in. Shoulders are coming in, compression in the abs and chest. And then we're going to come back to neutral. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Allow the chest to lift, chin to lift. I'm compressing in the back between the shoulder blades, along the spine, and opening in my ribs, chest, and throat. And then just wave between those two gently. Breathing slowly, smoothly. And then when you're ready, we're going to do one more little movement for the arm. We're going to just keep this one pretty simple. You're going to make, put your thumb and index finger together and spread the other fingers apart. Then we're going to bring the arm out to the side and then bend the elbow, bringing the pinky towards your head. And then your head away from your pinky. Really lifting the elbow, feeling it wherever, finding the place that you feel that little bit of stretch. And then coming back, extending the arm out, head in neutral, bending the elbow, pinky towards your ear, head away from pinky. Flowing through a couple of these. then taking another round or two. When you're ready, releasing that arm. Other side. So thumb and index finger together, spread the other fingers apart. This is palm down, and then bending the elbow, pinky towards ear, finding the angle, the level, and then angling the head away. Coming back out, flowing in and out of your stretch. Taking another round or two. And then coming out, taking any transition you need. And then, hopefully that felt good. Those were radius and ulnar nerve glides. If anyone feels like looking up more information on those, if those hit the spot for you. We're going to get ready for our seated meditation. So for this, you want to be seated in a really comfortable position, one that won't feel distracting physically. So if you have a chair handy, feel free to sit in a chair, just something where you can sit with your feet firmly on the ground and your torso nice and upright. If you're on the ground, you can sit in any position you like. You can sit in legs extended in any variation. You can sit cross-legged, or you can sit with your legs folded back. If you are on the ground, I really suggest sitting up on something. So if you sit up on something like a block, or just some folded blankets, or foam roller, or a pillow, even if you think you're fairly comfortable and flexible on the ground, being a little lifted gives you a little more room in the hips and knees. Make sure you're padded wherever you're making contact with the ground. Getting yourself in a nice, comfortable seated position. You're going to have your hands can be palm down, up, or clasped in your lap. You can have your eyes closed or a soft, steady gaze on the floor in front of you. As you settle in, allowing yourself to put aside all the other aspects of your day and of your life. Bring awareness to your breath. No need to change it. Simply notice the sensation, its rhythm, its movement of your body. As you exhale, notice your chest lower. Feel all the air escape. At the end of your exhales, feel the belly draw in, squeezing any of the last air out. So begin and inhale. Release the tension in the belly, allowing air to flood back in. With the inhale, belly releasing, feeling yourself breathe down deep towards your pelvis. Feel inhales travel up, expanding into your ribs towards your arms, to the sides. Breathing into your back, into your shoulder blades. Then finally feeling the inhales reach your collarbones, lifting. Exhales that empty and compress. Inhales that open and expand. Taking another breath or two. And when you're ready, nodding your chin towards your chest. Opening your eyes, reintroducing movement. Rolling wrists and ankle, well, not ankles or ankles. You can extend your legs, you can do some side bends or some twists. Leaning back. And then we'll get ready for our first yin posture. lying your back. And we're going to be doing sort of a leg twisting posture. And depending on how you set this up, you might opt to feel lines through the top of the ankle, through the knee, into the quad and the hip. Or you might end up with a variation that is more the outer thigh and the outer hip and more into the torso in a bigger twist. So just depends on how you want to go about this. The basics is we're going to cross, in this case, right leg over left knee, and then let the legs fall to the left. So right over left, fall to the left. So I can opt for a very tight twist, a very, very tight cross, bringing the knees towards the chest, and I get a deep twist through the torso and movement through the hip. You can always opt to set up the arm and head wherever feels best for you. I can choose to have this tight cross, but instead of bringing my knees up towards my chest, I can kick the standing leg out to the side and lie my legs down away from me. Different torso engagement, less of a twist. I can also, and you can do like in between variations of that, I can do a light cross, so just ankle over knee, very open. And again, I can have my knees come up towards me and over. In this case, I often like to use a hand as a little extra support so my leg doesn't skate away. Or again, I can kick the foot out to the side and lie the leg down, in which case I personally feel more stretch in the bottom leg instead of the top leg, outer and hip. No right or wrong, just depends on where you feel like you need it. In any of these cases, you might choose to have some extra support under arm, under knee, right, under foot, under different hips. Right. Wherever you feel like you might need support. You want to feel supported. There's no ego, there's no competition, there's no prize for being deeper or further. There is no deeper, further, better. You want to feel enough support so that you can stay there for at least 2 minutes, completely passive, that your muscles don't need to keep you safe and protected from going too far, from straining yourself, and that your muscles aren't pushing you into a stretch either. So, having had time to explore and try setups and propping, allow yourself to settle into stillness. With each breath, allowing yourself to sink in. Allow yourself to let go of chronic holding, chronic effort. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. And then use these breaths to help you come out gently, slowly, one piece at a time. And then as our transition before the next side, you might simply lie in a neutral place, or you might take more active counter movement, stretching the legs up, or doing some bridges. Or swish the knees. And then when you're ready, setting up the other side. So we've got left over right, and then falling to the right. Experimenting with the level of cross, and experimenting with whether the knees are closer to the chest, or the knees are further away from the torso. Do not automatically set up this side just the way you had the other side. This side might need something different. Find the area that hits a nice sweet spot for you in which you go, oh yes, that spot. Oh, that spot's very tight. That spot feels good when I put myself in that position. Find that spot and then figure out what props you want to put around you, underneath you. And then settling in. So you let go of the need to move and fidget. Allowing yourself to get lost in watching the internal sensations shifting and changing. Allowing yourself to observe change within without needing to create it. Some sensations that started out more intense will fade. New ones will arise. Breathe, observe. Allow yourself to be passive. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. Feeling your breath in this position before gently coming out. As always, taking any transition that feels right for you. Okay, so for the next yin posture we're going to do, I'm going to do this from standing, which is a little unusual, simply because the further away we get from the ground, the more there is a requirement for some muscular engagement, simply so you don't completely fall over. But this is a good reminder to use only what's absolutely necessary, that you can relax everything else. Oftentimes, whether athletically or just in life, we're holding on to far more effort, far more muscular effort than is actually necessary. So just keep that in mind as we do this. One of the nice things about doing something standing, though, is that we usually get a little more gravity assistance. So in some cases, we can set ourselves up into a position and feel nothing. And in Yin Yoga, we are aiming to feel some changes in your tissues. Unlike some some variations of restorative yogas in which we want to be fully supported and no sort of tensions of tissues. So the gravity assist can be good, but be aware that we don't want it to go too far and you don't want to feel unsafe. So this is definitely be a place to be mindful in your setup and use as much propping as feels right for you. So with that said, I'm going to start with my hips against, in this case, my bookcase. I would normally use like a door or a blank piece of wall. It's a little better than a bookcase. But with my hips against here, I'm just going to allow myself to fold forward. And we're looking for feeling lines of connective tissue, fascial tension in the sole of the foot, the back of the ankles, behind the knees, in the hamstrings, back of the thighs, glutes, along the spine, into the neck, possibly into the forehead and the brow. Now, we want to feel long lines and not a single point. So if you feel too much intensity in a single point, then make adjustments either in support or how we do this. So one thing I can do is step my feet out further. I can have the knees fully straight, sort of locked, if that feels safer for you, or bent. It really depends on the person. So there's no right or wrong. Sometimes fully straight is going to feel more secure. And sometimes it's just too much on the knees. So it just depends. From here, I can certainly add, I could get a chair, but I could also add support. I can also do this turned around. I like this one. This is a personal favorite for me. And padding. And in this case, padding between my back and the wall, or in this case, the bookcase. Again, I could do some propping so that I am safe from going too far. I could also add propping underneath my heels. You could do propping for the arms. And you can get as creative as you want. So giving yourself time to get that set up. Then we will not be here terribly long. Giving yourself simply a little bit of time for your body to settle in, to feel safe, to see what you can allow gravity to help you unfold, to help you find some space. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. You might use these breaths to help you savor where you have landed. You might use these breaths to help you gently come out. You might use your arms to stand up, or you might use your arms to squat down. Either is fine. Whether it feels better to take some sort of standing transition, or a squatting, kneeling, or sitting transition. When you're ready, making your way onto your back. For this, from your back, we're going to start with your shoulders. So I'm going to shimmy my shoulders over towards my left. I'm going to take my right arm and reach it up. So looking for a gentle line of tension from my right hip through my right ribs, armpit, up towards my elbow and arm. So feeling this bit of stretch, I'm going to take my legs now and walk my legs over to my left. And I'm, in this case, won't get very far because I started by moving my torso, right? My legs don't want to go very far, and that's just fine, but that just meant that moving my legs even a tiny bit moved it down my leg just a little bit, and you can leave your legs parallel or you can cross right over left. So feeling a long line of stretch on, in this case, the right side of my body, as long as both hips and both shoulders are on the ground and arm feels supported. If your arm, wherever you want it, it just keeps floating off the ground and it feels good where it is, but it's not supported, grab any prop of the
appropriate size for you to support wherever it needs supporting. You can have the arm be more straight or bent. So if I want to, in my case, if I like my arm here, but my arm is floating off the ground, I'm going to grab something and shove it under there. You can adjust your head position. You might need padding underneath the heels or a pillow underneath a knee. So getting nice and comfortable. And allowing yourself to melt into the floor. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. Using these breaths to help you gently come out, one piece at a time. Your legs, your head, your arm, bringing your shoulders back into neutral. As before, you can take any transition that feels right for you, something more active. You can also always choose just a quiet meditation. And when you're ready, setting up the other side. So I'm beginning by moving my shoulders, moving that outside arm, finding wherever it feels right. And then, I had my legs crossed. Starting with the legs parallel, moving the legs, and then choosing to cross or leave them parallel. No right or wrong. One is not better or further or deeper or more advanced. It's wherever you feel that you can really feel a nice line of stretch, and that you can feel like you can be passive, that you can let your breath be all that's needed. Anytime you feel tension creeping back in, or distraction pull at your mind or body, come back to your breath.
Let your breath anchor you. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. And when you're ready, coming out gently. Taking any movement that you need before our relaxation. So if you need to stand up, if you need to do some downward dog, if you need to do anything at all, okay, maybe not anything, like now is not the time for, I don't know, a beer. You can have that later. But almost anything you need before our relaxation. And just when you're ready, getting comfortable through the relaxation. So you might want to put some support underneath the knees or the low back. Get something to prop underneath the neck or your head. You could curl up in a blanket, place something soft over the eyes. Once you're comfortable and supported, with your body at ease, let your mind find peace in watching your breath. If your mind wanders, or if a physical sensation becomes distracting, allow it to pass. Bring your attention back to your breath. Allow yourself to simply observe all the sensations, which means letting go of anything that is pulling at your attention. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. And then use these breaths. Reintroduce movement, spreading fingers and toes, squeezing them in tight, rolling wrists and ankles. Stretching out long. Hugging in tight. Rolling to your side. Using your arms to help you sit up. Coming to a comfortable seated position. Any comfortable seated position. We'll conclude with 3 breaths together. Together we'll inhale through the nose and exhale audibly out the mouth. One more. Thank you to the 6 of you who are here. YouTube just gives us a number, so I don't know who you are, and it's just really nice to just get a hello in the live chat. Really fun just to get a little interaction. So feel free to shoot a message there, and then we can only do this with your active support. So you've got 3 opportunities to let us know this is worth continuing. One is you can become a sustaining member. So if you know you want this to continue, you want this to be free and available to you and everyone else, you can become a member for $10 a month through Patreon. That is patreon.com/zested. It'll be on the screen after I'm off. And sustaining members get extra bonus videos as well. So they got a little extra rolling self-massage for the calves and also a behind the scenes video. So for you members, go ahead and take a look at those. And then members, let me know what else you want. Second option is you can just do a one-time donation. Donations to paypal.me/zested, and even just $5 lets us know that this is meaningful to you. And then third option is just communicate your engagement and appreciation. So you can just email me, Kym@zested.net. Let me know what your experience was, just anything, feedback, questions. But again, just letting me know what it was like, thoughts that went through your head, sensations that you experienced. And then you can follow us on Facebook or Instagram. You can go to our website to join our mailing list and stay in touch, stay in the loop on anything up to date. So there we go. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Sorry, Pigeon was completely absent tonight, other than in the beginning. Maybe she's still mad at me for stepping on her tail. But she also just really likes the radiator at this time of year. So thank you. We're grateful for you. Have a peaceful night.